Hello there, and welcome to Hammerman for today, March the 13th. Um, take two. Turns out I'm better at the date on day two. Oh dear. Take three. Hello there, and welcome to Hammerman as I have a rough day. I blame the daylight savings time change. I feel like, you know, my sleeping pattern is off now, so it's fully explaining why all of the crazy. Or not, I don't know, whatevs. So, as usual, trying to get through as much as possible without having any of the prototype weapons being brought into play. So I got my hot pocket way at the back and my damage amp hidden in the trees, you know, buffing up the monkeys, because nothing scarier than a bunch of monkeys with coconuts hepped up on damage amp. I'm just saying, like, people be getting some concussions. Whew, it's some serious business. So, pretty standard first couple of levels with the Hammerman, which means I can use this opportunity to yak more about this upcoming update that isn't really out yet, but is coming in theory because spoilers are being dropped here and there. There's a fairly reputable source that's not Dr. T on the forums sending out infos and doing things. I feel like, yeah, update might happen soon. It was actually interesting because I was going through the thread and I realized that someone had like filled in the what would it be? The outline screenshots with what they thought would actually be in there. And you know, the critters that I thought were critters, obviously they thought were critters. The dynamite, they also thought was dynamite. But the third thing that I would thought kind of looked like a flare with maybe some dynamite attached to it looked more like a remote control. And I was looking at it and I was like, you know, kind of looks legit. Like, I could see that being a remote control of some type, but then what would it be remote controlling? Honestly, like, if they've got the critters already down, I'm assuming whatever is going on with critters would be in that slot. So, like, I know some people were saying, like, there's rumors about remote control critters. You think that would fall under the critter looking icon, unless you have the option between maybe like remote controlling your critters or just having like super powered critters or something that like they have double hit points or double damage, or you get twice as many of them, or some insanity thing like that. I don't know. But either way, it was kind of interesting. A lot of interesting leaks coming out of this not Dr. T fellow, who's clearly not Dr. T. Maybe. Also, just as a side note, Stage 4, I am rocking the anti-Gren base, but I strongly suggest you not do that, because as you can see, there are a lot of troops down on the beach, and not a single freaking one of them is a Grenadier. So a normal base probably would have been a lot better to deal with you know, what was coming down at us. Unfortunately, you know, with Stage 4 and whatnot, well, really all 7 stages, I don't get a preview. Like, the first time I see it is the first time I see it. So definitely do a normal base. Like, if you're kind of like me, where you got like the anti-Gren base and a normal base, do the normal base. It will mess up all the troops that land before the Grens, and even if you lose like your flamethrowers and your machine guns, at least they're going to be gone in time for the Grens to drop down, which means the Grens are going to walk up into like sniper tower type, you know, fire and rocket launcher fire and shock launcher fire, and hopefully, like, all of the things happen really nicely there. Now, that was stage 4. I was like, okay, I am smart. I looked at the troops that were coming in stage 5, and I was like, there's grenadiers in stage 5. Well, I know what Supercell is doing here. They're dropping the Grens at the end on 4 so that people are like, oh, what a pain in the butt. Oh, man, I wish I had, like, changed up my base and used a different base. And in 5, they're going to start with Grens because they're going to assume everyone's going to switch their base back. As it turns out, I didn't, because I was like, I'm on to you, Supercell. I'm calling your double negative bluff. I got this figured out. The dog is in on this. And as it turns out, no, I was horribly wrong, as was the dog. The Grens came last again. So, second base in a row, stage 5, make sure you drop, like, your normal base instead of your anti-Gren base, because you're going to have a whole bunch of heavies and riflemen and medics and crazy things going on that you're going to have to deal with. And I'm not going to lie to you, like, man, stage 5 had me sweating, because I was like, watching all the Grens, and if you like, at this point we're looking at some solid Gren medic, right? Like the medics are 100% out. There's only a couple of cannons left, and the Grens for the most part can outrange the cannons, and like the rocket launchers and stuff, like none of the other defenses have enough damage that they can actually kill off some troops. So I've got an entire wave of Grens just with nothing in between my HQ and them except for a bunch of storage buildings, which, my goodness. But then I remembered, wait, part of the whole anti-Gren base is the minefield at the end of the base, and holy smokes, I was pleased as punch, because the minefield did pretty much exactly what the minefield is supposed to do. We lost a couple of the mines to the drunken Grens, but then the Grens go straight for the HQ, just skewering themselves on the mines. Oh, look at that. Almost an entire wave of troops just vaporized on the mines, with the exception of 5 freaking medics and 3 freaking Grens. And because of the placement on the Hot Pocket, because I was just like, yeah, put it out of the way so that it doesn't, you know, really do anything, even the Hot Pocket can't pull me out of the soup. But guess what? The clock can. I was worried there. I thought I was going to lose 5, and it's been a while since I've lost on a 5. I was kind of getting ready to be embarrassed. Now, 6 comes along, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, 2 levels, no Grens on landing. This is clearly a rope-a-dope. Stage 6, it's definitely happening. So I made sure that I left the anti-Gren base in place, and man, was I ever glad that I did, because as you can see, the Grens were the first things off the boat, and I was just like, you son of a guns, I can't believe you. But it worked. Anyways, the rest of the, I guess, stage 6 is pretty straightforward. Obviously, I needed to drop the Hot Pocket, because I was like, man, if I'm almost losing stage 5, I definitely need the Hot Pocket on 6. I'm just, you know, I'm not quite there. I'm getting close. Give it a little bit of time, and definitely things will be happening. Honestly, I am getting freakishly close to maxing out those defenses. One of the other reasons that I'm super excited about the update coming up, because I figure with the heroes and everything, chances are there's going to be, like, possibly a building that needs to be built, and or there's going to be new stuff in the armory for like heroes, maybe a heroes tab or something. Either way, I'm going to have to do some upgrading to go along with, you know, the regular base and stuff. So very, very excited. I know I was actually on the forums trying to figure out, like, if I should go with more attack for ops, more attack statues. Obviously, I'm talking about statues here. Don't worry, I'm just letting you in on the conversation that's already happening in my head that no one's privy to. But yeah, I was already on the forums trying to figure out if I wanted to do, like, more attack statues so that I could do better things in the ops, or if I should drop a little bit of ice to increase the likelihood that I can get intel from my base defenses. And someone brought up a very, very good suggestion or comment or idea or whatever you want to call it, which was basically wait and see what happens with the update, because there's a freaking update coming. And I was like, you know what, that's genius. So yes, I am currently in a holding pattern where I'm just kind of trying to do as much as I can with you know, upgrading and whatnot. But I still got my resource reward. I've got everything in place so that I can seriously rock going through and dealing with the new update and whatever it may happen to bring. Also, I just want to point out, left-hand side, those mines, that whole wave, just beautiful. Oh, so much vapor. Oh, I love it so hard. Anyways, this is wrapping up, obviously. We've got a win coming on Stage 7, which was surprisingly difficult just because of the way things went and what got shocked and whatnot. But hopefully this has been entertaining. Hopefully it's been helpful. Thanks very much for watching, and above all else, of course, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.